My mother leaned forward across the brunch table, wearing a smirk so sharp it felt like it sliced right through me. She lowered her voice just enough to sound intimate but loud enough to wound. "Abigail, sweetheart. You're only invited because we felt sorry for you." The group burst into laughter as if I were some charity project they had all agreed to sponsor for the day. My sister lifted her glass with fake elegance. "Family ties are strong," she said. "But pity is even stronger." Their laughter echoed around me while my hands trembled under the table. They had no idea what I had kept hidden. Not a clue. If you're still listening, make sure to share this story and subscribe. Your support means more than you know. My mom's friends stared like I was a stranger who had wandered into their perfect, polished brunch by mistake. Their eyes said I didn't belong. My mother reveled in it. "Abby, honey, maybe avoid ordering anything pricey," she said, loud enough for the entire section of the restaurant to hear. "We understand you're financially limited." A couple at the next table turned to look. They probably thought I was some poor lost guest she had taken pity on, not her own daughter. They didn't know that the past 3 years of my life were spent building something quietly, relentlessly, obsessively. Something far bigger than any of them imagined. While they mocked me for working random part-time jobs and living in a cramped place, I was pouring myself into a business they believed had died before it even began. I let them laugh. I needed them to laugh. My brother leaned back with his usual arrogance. "Honestly, Abby, showing up here is impressive. I mean, this place must be way above your pay grade." My mom laughed so hard she nearly spilled her drink. "She should be grateful we still invite her at all." Heat crawled up my neck, but I didn't react. Timing was everything. The waitress arrived with the bill and set it gently in front of my mother. Without hesitation, my mom slid it toward me. A final little humiliation. "Here you go, Abby. Want to at least pretend you can pay for something today?" Every gaze locked onto me. Every smirk tightened. Every second pushed me closer to the moment they would regret all of this. I picked up the check slowly, and that's when my mom's expression shifted. She noticed a slim black envelope sticking out of my bag. The envelope I never thought I'd need to reveal today. Her smirk faded. "What's that?" she murmured. I didn't answer. I simply placed it on the table. My sister rolled her eyes dramatically. "Oh, please, Abigail. Don't be theatrical. What is it?" "Another update from your little side hustle yoga class." Her friends snickered like obedient background characters. Then she pulled the papers out of my mom's hand. One glance, and her smile collapsed. Her face drained instantly. "Mom, this is legal ownership documentation." The entire table went silent. Even the noise of the restaurant seemed to pause. My brother snatched the papers, still wearing his trademark smugness, until it evaporated. He looked up slowly, confusion overtaking him. "Wait, this says Abigail Owens?" He swallowed hard. My mom blinked like she couldn't see correctly. "There's no way this is real." "Abby, stop. You can't possibly." I leaned in, voice steady. "Are you sure?" Her throat tightened, her lips trembling. And then the truth they had never imagined hit them like a tidal wave. The business name written at the top, the one they mocked, dismissed, insulted, wasn't just alive. It was valued at 7 figures. My mother whispered, stunned. "No, you couldn't have done this without us knowing." "You never cared enough to ask," I replied softly. My sister's voice cracked with panic. "You owned that company? The one we said would crash? The one we—" She clamped a hand over her mouth like the words tasted poisonous. Tension coiled around the table, tighter than the silence they had wrapped me in for years. My mom leaned closer, anger trembling in her voice. "Why didn't you tell us?" I smiled. "Because you made it very clear my life wasn't worth paying attention to." And then the restaurant door opened behind me. A tall shadow stepped inside. Someone they all recognized immediately. My mother's breath caught in her throat. My sister went pale. My brother froze with the paper still clenched in his hand. The figure walked toward our table, and my whole family looked like they had just seen the one person they hoped would never show up. They had no clue this man had come because of me. The whole table froze the second he stepped into the room. Steady, self-assured, and impossible to ignore. My sister whispered like her lungs forgot how to work. What is he doing here?" My mom grabbed her necklace like she was watching a slow-motion disaster unfold. It was Daniel Hayes. the city's most influential real estate tycoon, the same man my family practically praised like he walked on clouds. And he walked straight toward me. No glance at anyone else. No hesitation. "Abigail," he greeted, smiling warmly. "Sorry I'm running behind. Hope you didn't wait too long." My mother's fork slid out of her hand. My brother forgot how to blink. My sister looked like her brain had blue-screened. Daniel Hayes, the man they'd spent years trying desperately to impress, pulled out the chair next to mine and sat down like he belonged there. My mom finally stuttered. You actually know her?" He looked at her calmly. "Know her? Abigail is one of my biggest collaborators." The entire table trembled. My sister nearly inhaled her overpriced avocado toast. "Collaborators? What does that even mean? She can't even manage her own bills." Daniel laughed softly. "She doesn't pay rent. I bought her place outright last year. Funny she forgot to mention it." My mother stared at me like I had robbed a bank. "This has to be a joke. Abigail wouldn't hide something this huge." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "She probably learned to grow quietly, especially when the people around her weren't exactly cheering her on." That line landed like a punch. My brother leaned forward, suddenly sweating. "Wait, how important of a collaborator? What exactly does she even do?" Daniel glanced at me with a proud smile. "She runs our digital division. It pulled the highest profit this quarter." Their faces looked like they were melting in slow motion. My sister snapped, "Stop making things up. Abigail can't even handle brunch without falling apart." I held her gaze. Some people build in silence. Others are too busy mocking them to notice. The waitress returned with the bill, but Daniel gently pushed it away. "I'll cover everything. Anything Abigail is part of goes on me." My mom's voice shook. "But why? Why would you put her above everyone else?" Daniel turned toward me again, smiling like he already knew the outcome. "Because she worked for it. And because on Monday, she's being announced as the face of our company's expansion." A collective gasp rippled so loudly that half the restaurant turned our way. My sister looked ready to explode. My brother looked like he might faint. My mom looked like the sky was falling. Daniel leaned back casually. "And I'm only here because Abigail invited me. She said her family deserved to hear the truth." My mom's expression cracked. "The truth? What truth?" I turned to her, calm, steady, colder than she'd ever seen me. "That envelope wasn't the full reveal," I said. "There's something else I haven't told you." Her lips parted, trembling. My sister shook her head in disbelief. My brother muttered, "Oh God, now what?" I inhaled slowly, because what I was about to say would shatter everything they believed about me, and they were completely unprepared. My mom whispered, voice barely there, "Abigail, what more could you possibly have?" My sister leaned in, furious and desperate. "Just say it. Stop acting like you're someone important." I didn't hurry. I wanted them to feel every second of the power shift they never imagined I'd have. Daniel tapped the envelope lightly. "Maybe show them the second set," he said, as if he'd been waiting for this moment all along. Their heads snapped toward him, wide-eyed and panicked. My brother barked, "Second set? What second set? She already dumped enough nonsense on us." My sister tried to chuckle, but it cracked halfway out of her throat. "Abigail, please. You don't have anything else. Don't embarrass yourself. You're forcing it now." Without a word, I reached into my bag again and pulled out a second envelope, white thick, sealed with gold. My mom visibly flinched. My brother swallowed like his throat had dried. My sister gripped the edge of the table as if the floor had tilted beneath her. What is that?" she hissed. I placed it in the center of the table. "Open it." My mom snatched it first, her hands trembling like she was handling something explosive. When she broke the seal and unfolded the documents, the air left her in a sharp, shattered gasp. She slapped a hand across her mouth, eyes filling instantly. No, this can't be real." My sister snatched the papers from her. "Mom, stop being dramatic." Her words died. Her entire face drained of color. "What?" My brother yanked the documents next, and he froze mid-breath. "Abigail, this says you're the majority owner of..." He couldn't finish. His jaw locked. My mom finally managed to speak. "This says you own Daniel's entire digital expansion division. 70%. She stared at him in disbelief. This means she has control. Daniel nodded calmly. Correct. My sister shook her head like she was trying to shake the truth off her skin. No. No, you told us she was a partner, not this. Daniel took a sip of water, unbothered. I told you she was one of my biggest partners, meaning she outranks several of my executives. My mom's voice broke. But she's Abigail. Daniel shrugged lightly. And she's been the backbone of the fastest growing division in our entire company. A heavy silence slashed across the table. My sister's lip quivered. But you always said you were struggling. That you lost money. That. I looked directly at her. I never said that. You assumed it. Because it made you feel better. My brother leaned forward, panic rising. So what? You're rich now? That's the big twist. I leaned closer, my voice steady. No. That's not the twist. He blinked, confused. Then what? I pulled out one final sheet of paper, the one that held the move they wouldn't see coming. My mom picked it up with shaking hands. As her eyes read the heading, she let out a gasp so loud the nearby tables turned to look. She stared at me, horrified. Abigail. Why would you do this? My sister grabbed it next and almost dropped it. My brother recoiled like he'd been punched. The truth on that final page was the hit they never expected. My sister spoke first, her voice cracking apart. Abigail. This says you're relocating the entire digital division headquarters out of state. My mom snatched the paper again. Not only that, she's moving it into our town's only major office building. The same building we've been begging investors to rescue. Daniel nodded. She purchased it last week. My brother went ghost white. That building? Dad's project? The one we lost? You own it now. I kept my voice level. I bought it because no one else cared. And because I'm turning it into a training center for people who were told their whole lives they weren't enough. My mom's mascara streaked as she whispered. But what about us? I stood, gathering the envelopes. You never treated me like family, only like a burden. So no, you're not part of this. Not anymore. Daniel rose beside me. Ready? I nodded. Behind me, chairs scraped. Voices cracked. My family called my name, desperate, scared. As the truth settled like a weight they couldn't lift. The daughter they mocked. The sister they belittled. The girl they tried to shrink. Had become the one person they could no longer afford to lose. I walked out without looking back. And for the first time in my life, they watched me leave them.